Hey everyone, welcome to my latest episode. Previously, we talked about one of the evaluation contexts, filter context. Filter context, if you still remember, filter context filter the whole model based on the filter applied to the one of the table. In this particular case, if we filter the customer table by select the value of this slicer, which is the customer 180, then the table down to the row, which is on the many side of this relationship, will also be filtered to customer 180 and also all the detail related to customer 180. So filter context, those contexts can receive from the page interaction by the user. So whenever they pick a value from a visual, select something, the whole model will consider the filter and also return different results for the measure. So that's the filter context. So in today's episode, we're going to focus on another evaluation context, which is the row context. Row context iterate tables, which means you'll go over the table row by row to work out what to be calculated. In particular, if we try to this case. In this case, if in the Excel, what are you going to do to calculate the line value? We'll be using the net price times quantity, right? But in the DAX world, you cannot do that. For example, here we just try to write a simple measure, say line value. So if we try to intend to use net price, it's not even coming up. Let's try the quantity. It's not coming up. The only thing coming up is the measure that we developed previously. Why is that? Because when you write a DAX measure, it requires you to return a single value, which means it's an aggregate value. If you don't wrap everything together, you cannot do that. So one of the methods to have this done is by using the sum first. We sum the net price, and we use this times, we sum that again, and to the quantity. Once you have aggregate in the front, like say sum or average, whatever, as long as it's aggregator, they can aggregate this column into a single value, then you're able to do whatever you want. So that's the noun value. If we drag this into the visual, and this to the table, you can see the value if you say that order. So this net price times quantity equal to the line value, we're able to do that. But today, this is not our topic. We're talking about row context, right? Row context can actually trigger by aggregator. So what you can do over here, you can also rewrite this one. Let's just copy the whole thing, and then we create a new measure. Let's just say this is version 1, version 2. So in this version 2, we're going to use a different one. What happens is if you will use a SUMX, let's just read the explanation. Return the sum of an expression evaluate for each row in the table. So since the visual here is a table, I only pick things from one table. So you can think this is a table. Table has rows, right? For each of the row, I need to know which row I need to use that row's net price times that row's quantity. So I'm using SUMX. I tap that through. So table, we're going to locate all the detail. And here is the expression. Expression, you can reference anything. Here, I'm going to just use the net price times quantity. Okay, if I hit OK. Now, if I drag this version 2 into here, I'm actually return the same result. But basically, the difference between these two is in the version 1, we aggregate them first, because I have a line over here, so it's kind of know which line we're doing the calculation. So the sum to the actual row is actually just 1. And here, if we change this back to the table, right? For the version 2, what we do is we use iterator, which is SUMX. It will have the nature of the context, which is a row context. So that's why when you do the calculation, you do that like you're in Excel. It's already know current row I'm going to retrieve for the net price and also quantity. So another way to trigger a row context is by creating a calculate column. So here, if we go into the order detail table, let's just say I want to create a line value for the version 3. You can go into new column. Then you will have this window come up. We say line value version 3. Right here, you can just simply write net price times, which is the quantity. But here, why you can use specific the whole column? Actually, here you are not using the whole column. You are using, when they calculate this cell, we're using the line. For this line, what's the unit price, what's the net price, and what's the quantity. So when you create a calculate column here, it already naturally has a row context for you to calculate. So the pointer is pretty precise. If we hit OK, now each line will have the same thing. You can see the net price times quantity. No matter how we sort that, it will always be the case, right? Quantity 10, net price. So that's the price. So that's conclude today's topic, which is a row context. There are two ways you can enable row context. One is by creating a calculate column, like a magic that you did in the Excel. It's exactly the same because every row has been identified as a context for you. Another way is going back here, look at over version 2. We're using iterator. Any function that ends with X is an iterator. So use an iterator, point to a table. Now you are able to access the table row by row. So here you can say, I'm going to just return the net price for that row, or return the quantity for that row, or instead, like here we did, we want to calculate the line value, which is using the net price times the quantity. You can also do that. Okay, so that's sum up for today's episode. See you guys in the next one.